Hey folks, welcome to the channel. My name is Rami, where we talk everything watches, adventure, outdoors, and today it's all about the Vaer D7 Arctic Dive Watch. This is the Swiss-made edition. Let's get into it. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Vaer D7 Arctic Dive Watch. This watch was recently released by Vaer. It had been kind of in concept for, I would say, about well over a year by the co-founders who are from Venice, California. So Vaer is a brand out of Venice, California. And when the guys first got started several years back, back in 2016, releasing their first watch in 2017, initially kind of basic quartz movements, gradually working into more automatic movements. Being their passion as divers and outdoors kind of guys, they really wanted to hone in on an audience that wanted high quality, premium quality at a price that was what we'd consider to be more affordable. And so that's exactly what they did. They set out to create this company. A really clever name, actually, and in fact, I don't want to give it away, but if you do order something from them, you'll find that they do go over the naming behind the product. But it really kind of created a very loyal following in the last several years. Passionate watch enthusiasts, to say the least. Really a great micro brand, American micro brand, doing great things. And what you're going to see today with the D7 Arctic Dive Watch is no exception. There's no exception in terms of what Vaer's done, but certainly, in my opinion, I find it to be exceptional in the sense that for what you get, for the price that you pay, the actual quality and the attention to detail really does make this watch a must-have. For any dive collector or any watch enthusiast, I find Vaer to be on top, really to be at a premium level, and you'll see that as we get into it. So it comes in this really very nice packaging, very well done, not flimsy at all. And inside the main box, you're going to see a couple of things. The first thing is you're going to get your Vaer. This is a certificate of assembly. Now this, I opted for the Swiss D7 Arctic with the patina finish. So if you notice, it's got the more vintage look, which we'll get into in a second. This is the certificate by the technician, the Swiss assembly. It is a 200-meter water-resistant dive watch with a screw-down crown. I'll set that down over here. And then it also comes with a brief, just kind of quick release instructions. So the bracelet, which I'll show you in a second, the bracelets actually have a quick release, which makes swapping in and out the bracelets super convenient, and you'll see that in a second as well. So put that over here. Let's start by showing you first of all the packaging. I'm really kind of impressed, right? They kind of played along with what Apple has done and giving a really clean, crisp packaging, right? The white with the product kind of positioned on the top of the packaging, kind of know what's inside, similar to how you may have seen, for example, the iPhone being released. So what you get is, this is essentially the finished product of the stainless steel bracelet with a branded clasp, and currently you'll see why I don't actually have it assembled, but really just well done and carefully constructed, high quality. It doesn't have screw downs, so these are just regular push pins, which is fine, not a deal breaker in any way, but getting it initially sized might be a little bit challenging. If you don't have the right tools, you can go onto Amazon, or I would encourage you to just find your local dealer and get that done. Here's the quick release that we're referring to in the documentation. As you can see, it's right here. You got these pretty neat, you just kind of squeeze the two together and insert it into the lug. So that's for this packaging. And so without further ado, this is the Arctic D7 Swiss-made diver by Vaer. As you can see, remarkable finish. Branding on the band clasp, or buckle I should say. It's got the beautiful vintage look going for it. Double domed sapphire crystal, which gives it a really unique kind of visibility from all angles. As you can see here, it's got depth. It's got this 3D effect that's just brilliant on it, and you can see it just about from any angle, and it just presents beautifully. And so let's go ahead and take this out of the packaging. Very soft, well done packaging, so your watch doesn't get damaged. And if you notice, you've also got a little bit of you've got the branding also on the screw down crown. There's the Vaer right there. The back, stunning, right? So you've got your designed in Los Angeles, Swiss made, sapphire glass. Now, they had, if you ordered in the pre-order time, you got a pre-order serialized one, and I did. I got the 007 out of 100. So I actually ended up with a 007, which I thought was pretty cute, actually. I thought that was rather fitting, considering I find this somewhat of a homage to a vintage kind of 007. So I found that to be pretty cool as well. If you notice, the case is just spectacular. If it's got these incredible curves. It sits beautifully on the wrist, and it just hugs your wrist perfectly. Now the case is 39 millimeters, but interestingly, they went with a 40 millimeter bezel, which is, by the way, ceramic bezel, as you can tell from you can notice from the gloss and the finish. So the beauty about that is you get that presence on the wrist without overwhelming the actual wrist. So it just presents itself beautifully on your arm, and I'll show you guys in a second how that actually finishes off. But if you could tell also how just well done and refined all the dial markings are, as well as the bezel markings, and the patina finish is just really nicely completed. The hands are really refined, kind of unique to themselves. They didn't really kind of do any sort of copy of a Rolex. They really wanted to find elements for themselves that would help them stand out. And I really do believe they accomplished that. They took the best of what a dive watch might be from, for example, an Omega or a Submariner, but really did, at the end of the day, put their own touch. They're truly their own unique touch to this watch, and it shows repeatedly. One of the key things that I don't know if you noticed, there's no guard on the crown, right? So, and I find that to be the best. It gives the watch a sense of class, elegance, and sophistication while still being a fabulous utility watch. So you don't compromise anything in terms of utility, but you don't necessarily have that over bulk that isn't, in my opinion, very necessary when it comes to a screw-down crown. You don't need to necessarily have any sort of guard with it. I think that really offers a beautiful touch. You've got a see-through glass back where you can see the movement. Again, now the movement is, this is a Swiss ETA 2824-2 Elabor movement. It's been performing relatively well. It's been about 10 seconds off or 10 seconds too fast per day. So I'm going to continue to monitor it, considering it's only been about 10 days. And I would like to see if it somehow potentially improves or may need a little bit of a sort of modification or adjustment. But I'm just going to give it some more time to see if any of that sort of self-regulates or not. I know there are certain things that you can do to regulate a watch, but for the time being, it's really pretty close. I don't find that to be an issue whatsoever. A quick note. So Vaer released, and I thought this was really ambitious. So they released the D7 Arctic, but there's also the D7 Arctic White, which does not have the vintage look on the dial and the sort of vintage finish. It's all white. So if you prefer the crisp look, you may want to go for that. They also have one called the Pacific, another one called the Atlantic, and one called the Tropic. And the Tropic is, in my opinion, if you're going to look at something completely out of the ordinary, something that may pay homage to some watch historically, still truly stands out on its own. I'm going to put a link to the website down below, and you can go and take a look at the different designs of what they do have. Several of them, if not all of them, do come in a Swiss option, but there is also the American assembly that has a Miota movement. So be sure to check those out. So if someone's willing or insists on having a Swiss movement, I think you could pay about 150 more and get the Swiss assembly and Swiss made version of the Vaer. Again, just an absolute stunning watch. So let's go ahead and try this on. Okay, here we go. This is the Vaer D7 Arctic, and this is with the patina hands and dial. And again, just a remarkable, you can see that domed sapphire, how it just sort of elevates, but it beautifully kind of continues where the bezel leaves off. If you notice, it just continues upward, creating this remarkable effect. When you look deep inside, you can see the dimensions of the watch that just really jump out at you. It's an eye grabber. You'll notice when you're wearing this, people's eyes just fixate to it, and it's clear why. It's very evident in the piece that this is going to happen. One other thing I'd like to show you guys is, so they have they're also known for creating remarkable straps. So I also opted for this beautiful NATO strap in a khaki. Comes with some really cool, some additional of your, whatchamacallit, the pins for your strap, for the lug pins, but also comes with a tool. And it's just remarkable. Again, it has the branding on it right there. Very well made, extremely comfortable. And as you can imagine how beautiful it looks with the vintage patine finish of the hands and dial and all, it just stands out. It pops beautifully. So I typically wear it with this, but I wanted to show you how it actually comes in the original packaging. It comes exactly like that. I did have the stainless band also adjusted, and it fits. It's beautifully milled here, by the way. It fits beautifully. It's very, very comfortable. It does taper a little bit from 20, I think it's 20 down to 18. Need to verify that. Nevertheless, extremely comfortable. And as I said, these are really easy to put on and remove. So I can show you real quickly how, and I'm sure you may or may not have any experience with it in the past, but you just literally can pull this section right here and it pops it off. How sweet is that, right? So very simple, easy assembly, beautiful watch, absolutely spectacular. Oh, one last thing I didn't mention is the action of the bezel. Beautiful action on the bezel, 120 clicks, sits almost perfectly aligned. I would say it's a tad, like literally a hair. The naked eye might not even be able to notice it, but I'm such OCD. Does not surprise me that I may pick up on it, but it has a beautiful action, just perfect. I have no complaints whatsoever about that. It does the job. The movement of the hand, of the second hand, is just so smooth. I mean, just look at that movement. It really is super smooth. Like I said, it's the 28-24, and I do believe it beats at 28-800. And it is a 26 or 27 jewel movement. So beautifully done. Again, Vaer branding inside the movement. So that's it, guys. I wanted to showcase that. Again, I'm going to put a link to the Vaer website. I purchased this on my own. This in no way, shape, or form is a sponsorship by Vaer. They have not asked me to do this review. This is purely an independent review. If you have any comments or anything, or have any experience with Vaer, please feel free to mention it in the comment below. Also, if you do have a micro brand that you love and you'd like to share anything on it, by all means do so. I do know it's an entire subculture, but it's always fun to have our communities talk about different watches, because as you can tell from this piece, the creativity just doesn't end. It's just beautiful to see companies come alive and bring back some old heritage, but yet also bring it and put their own spin on it. So I wanted to quickly capture what it looks like with the stainless bracelet. Again, incredible presence. I have a 6.5-inch wrist. Look, just because the lug to lug really kind of makes the difference for the smaller 39mm case. It's just absolutely perfect, where you can still capture a little bit of the bracelet on your wrist while giving the prominence of the case and the bezel the attention. So one last thing I want to do here is take a quick look at the lume. This is the lume with just a few seconds of light, and as you can tell, you've got some pretty good quality lume. They actually spared no expense, ensuring that you get the best of the best. They applied the lume obviously to the bezel markers, but also, so you got it at the pip, you also have it on the hands and on the dial itself. And they applied some pretty aggressive lume, which I will put the details of the lume grade in the the description below, so as to not kind of draw this any further. But what we do know is they spent extra effort, extra time. In fact, some of the delays were a result of ensuring that they got the lume just the way they wanted to ensure that it had the quantity for longevity. My name is Rami. Thanks for watching this video, and please like the video and subscribe. I plan to bring additional content in the coming weeks, and I'd love to have you participate and continue to consume and enjoy my videos. Take care.